Nice story. Well, all right, selling your home can be tough. Some people offer all sorts of bonus gifts or twists to get buyers in the door, but now a new idea, but one that can be dangerous. It's called seller financing. Connie is a real estate broker with Prudential, and she's here to tell us all about it. Connie, great to see you.
Hello, Jerry.
Well, okay, let's get into this. Seller financing. I guess everything that's old is new again. This has been around for a long time. It's coming back. Tell folks exactly how it works, and let's talk a little bit, too, about whether it's a good idea.
Okay, well, basically what the seller is doing is acting like a lender. They're giving a loan to the buyer to purchase their home in return for a down payment and monthly interest payments. But what's really good about this for the buyer is that all these terms are negotiable. It could be a loan for 10 days or 10 years. It could be 7% or 5% interest payments, maybe even no points. So it's a terrific opportunity for a buyer that can't quite qualify for a loan because their credit is not as it needs to be, or they don't have a sizable down payment, which is about 20 or 25% today.
Well, I think that's a really good point, you know, that for buyers out there looking to get in the market who maybe can't afford it, this may be a way to get into a property. But let's look at it from the flip side, the seller side. Do you have the same rights as a lender? Can you take the house back if they're not paying?
Yes, you can. I mean, you're going to have, you know, if the buyer defaults, and that's the big risk, then, you know, it's going to be a process to try and solve that problem. You're going to have legal expenses. Perhaps maybe that buyer, if they can't afford to make those monthly payments, maybe they're not taking care of the property as they should. You might have damage. And if you do get it back and resolve that, you might be selling it in a different marketplace, and you might, you know, have added loss as well. So it's something you really need to think about. A lot of times, also on a long-term loan, you have to really think, is this okay for me for 10 years or 5 years? What could happen in my life? Maybe my kids need something, or my spouse, or I lose my job.
Okay, well, let's talk about, are there savings for the sellers out there?
Okay, well, the saving is that they probably can sell their house. They might actually be able to sell their house for a little bit more because they're offering this tremendous opportunity to the buyer. They're going to save on all the fees associated with, you know, some of the closing costs.
You're not paying a realtor necessarily.
Yes, so you are saving. However, even though you don't need an appraisal, I would definitely, as a buyer, always get an appraisal. You want to make sure that you're not overpaying for a property.
That's a great point. Now, let's talk a little more about buyers out there who are going to use this. This may not be as safe as using a loan from a federally chartered lender out there. I mean, you really could get in trouble here.
You can get, I mean, whether you're taking a loan from, you know, Mr. Jones or from Bank of America, you need, you know, you really need to be responsible, and you need to be honest with yourself to see if you can really afford this responsibility.
Great information, and a really fascinating new way of trying to find buyers if you're really having a hard time. Thank you for that.
My pleasure.